First off, we gotta say respect all the ways to Guru and his family, Casey, his baby moms, his whole family, because he was a true essence of how to deliver the rhymes smooth. When everybody was using 808 analogs and SB12s and all this bass, they really brought the smooth jazz sound, into prominence, to like what Stetsasonic used to do back in the days. So when they came on the scene with Premier doing his thing on the scratch and the ones and twos, Wax Master C and all that, Guru named him Premier, so it is what it is. But the situation where gurus start to have problems, you have to go back to the roots. What was that? I would say after 94, they had a stretch in between 94 and 98 where a lot of the problems were starting to come into play. They were one of the biggest groups, in basically rap in 94. There was Gang Starr was it. As the notoriety started getting higher for Guru and Premier, Guru's getting ready to start writing his album and working on doing his own things, because Premier, his mind state is elsewhere, and I'm DJ Premier, and I'm the one, and everybody gotta have a primo sound, and he's taking it to a new plateau, so he's not really thinking about a Gang Starr album. And then there's money issues going on, where Guru's like, hey, what's going on with the paper? What's this? What's that? What's happening here? And we gotta, this ain't right with these numbers. What's going on with this money, with the shows? What we supposed to do? And Premier's like, oh, well, I know we were supposed to do this show, but I canceled that because I got some other business we got to take care of. Now, this is affecting Guru's pockets. Yeah, you got something to do. But what about Guru? he ain't eating off that. So you going to cancel the whole Gang Starr show and say we can't make these dates because I got to go track this song. I got to go do this to get this done. I got to go over to Queens. And that's one thing about Primo. He'll go set up anywhere and get something done. But his thing is, I gotta go track it now. So I don't have no time. So they had about a 4-year gap of where communication was just bits and pieces. And when they put out the last album, the album they did in 98, I think they put it out. That was an album that took the longest to make because it was songs they had recorded in different spots, because they didn't have time, and Primo basically wasn't really there for that moment in time, and there was so many different problems going on with money, and then they trying to say Guru's drinking at the time when he started drinking a lot, and he's in a whole different mind state when he go through depression. He starts going back to the bottle and all of these different things, and it was causing a rift between the group. But there was a darker thing going on at that time that a lot of people didn't know. Primo was, it's no big deal, but he, knows candy. Treating his nose, and like a lot of the artists did back in the days. Some say he was out there clucking late at 3 in the morning, getting blows. It's hey, I wasn't there with the man. This is just what was reported from the streets. And don't forget at that time he had business with in the record business, or what they call the music industry, it also ties into other forms of business. And he actually was tied into a form of business with another business partner from Van Nuys, California, who had millions of dollars, but it's from the adult entertainment industry, and getting connected with Primo, bringing him out to his house, and he actually worked with a couple of people that, like, a couple of rap artists and producers who really brought Primo in. Like, man, you can get your money like this. This dude, they paying you to make beats for like porn music, and that became a stream of revenue also. Like, keep it off the books type stuff, but it's money, for a DJ like Primo. And he began to do that and make the music and do that for him, and was getting checks and money from adult industry. And Guru found out about that too, and that's just like goes against his entire character of what Gang Starr really supposed to be about. Now there's drugs, there's porn, and he didn't want a part of that life. So hey, this is what we know. I don't know what else to say about that. I left the dude's name out of it, so I'm good. So this is the issues that they had going on in Gang Starr. So the Chain and the Star had this problem. Now, all of a sudden, Guru's having successful albums with Jazzmatazz, and those were like his thing to do while Primo was out doing his thing. He was working on getting all these musicians and jazz artists together and construct these actual like jazz albums, and him rhyming over smooth jazz beats or from live instruments and stuff. So he loved those Jazzmatazz albums. And Bahamadia told me that she's like, oh, his voice is one of the most powerful. She's like, if he wasn't a rapper, he could be a leader or anything. His voice is like something you feel, you follow it, like it's moving. So she got to work with Guru and was talking about how great it was to work with him, and as an artist, how his mind works. It's so vast. With so much, like, no matter, he could be in the slums, but he sees the world entirely different when he's creating his art. So it was all about the passion of what he was doing. Now, on top of this scale, here's this rapper slash manager slash 5%er slash producer slash whatever you want to call him, named Solar. Solar comes in, spins his web over everything, and he starts to see the conflict between Premier, and he sees the conflict with Guru, with their issue, and he plays on it. And he says, well, first thing I gotta do is get Guru and connect with Guru. And since they both was spiritually on the same path, with like he was a 5%er at one point, Solar, he represented the 5, so he followed the values of not drinking, not doing drugs and doing these things, and he got Guru back on the path of not drinking and doing all these things to improve his life and get himself better. And Guru starts saying, you know what? I feel, like this brother came to save me. Like God sent Solar to save me. Like, he got me to stop drinking, and I'm back on the right path. I'm doing things right. And since 2005, 2005 because they came back. I kind of like skipped over Owners. Owners was like the last straw. When they made the Owners album, it was done. No more tours, no more nothing. It was done at that point. So it's like the whole rap game has changed. And for them, at 2003, it was like, this is our final album. I don't owe you anything no more. We're done. Business-wise, he was upset. He was upset with Premier. And he really just, at that point, didn't want anything to do with him. He felt business-wise that he wasn't treated fairly, and it wasn't worth it to go ahead and work with Premier. He wanted to do his own things. That was how he felt business-wise. But they're always going to be brothers. You got the brother in your family that might be on drugs and might disappoint you. Don't mean you don't love him. And years later, you be, hey, I'm your brother. But the Solar Guru relationship, how tight they became, Guru felt like, I gotta stay loyal to this dude even though I just went through this with Premier. I don't think he fully trusted Solar on a business standpoint, but he felt obligated to, even if I'm not getting what I think I should be getting, I'm going to stick it out with Solar because he came to save me. Like, try to reach me spiritually and trying to save me and bring me out and make me a better person. I feel I owe it to him to be righteous. He did not want to be unrighteous. So he wanted to be like, I'm going to stay there and try to make it work with Solar as much as I can because I feel I owe this man because he came and helped me out in a time where I was drinking and not in the right mind state. He got me back to where I feel like I'm in the right mind state. And Solar didn't drive the wedge in between Premier and Guru like people think. What he did was play on the tools and the foundations and the problems that were already there. And each man should know what those problems is. Do I think Guru wrote that letter? Hell no. Hell no. Not on his deathbed. I mean, did Guru probably have a statement prepared and would he be the type to say, I don't want nobody to know? Absolutely. From everybody that I spoke to in life that knew Guru tells you this. Now, I mean, people I knew that knew him. Like, they sat down, ate bread back from 1982, 1980 old school cats that knew him. Said he was that type of way. He was really private. Didn't like, one day he's happy, one day he's not happy. That's just him. But he's private. And he was not the type that wanted to see people see him in a light that he wasn't ready for you to see him in. Or he didn't want to. So if Guru said something like, I don't want this out to the public and blah, 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 I would believe that. But to put the statements that they put out saying that Guru wrote that, I would never believe that. I think his words was contorted to fit Solar's agenda more than his own. And I think that's disgusting, but it shows you the type of person you're dealing with. And that's why Solar won't be taken serious by anybody in the business, especially hip-hop. Nobody's going to be looking to work with Solar because he's speaking more of an A&R than a person that actually cared and was taking care of Guru. Premier went to visit Guru in the hospital. All the boys was there, black. Before he stopped people from coming to see Guru in his last days because he didn't want people to see Well, everybody else was like, man, why is this happening? Why is he like that? Why is his nails is all long, and why he don't look like he's been cared for? Why he looks like he's just been on a ventilator and just neglected? He didn't want people raising those questions, so he started trying to block people from coming to see Guru. His own family. And let the man die alone. And for that, that man can never ever sit down and have a conversation. I wouldn't put that man on no platform to talk anyway. I wouldn't want to hear anything he had to say. He has no soul. And I'm out.